I think withdrawing from the Paris Accord is a historic, monumental mistake that we will pay the price for the next several generations.
He is not helping the forgotten American. He is hurting them. Their kids will have worse asthma in the summer. They will have a harder time having economic growth. He's made us an environmental pariah in the world.
It was a stunning abdication of American leadership. How is he ever going to explain to his grandchildren what he did to the air they breathe?
Oh, for Nancy, it's always about the kids. A climate crisis on the left as liberals melt down over President Trump's decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. But are they overreacting? Let's ask our expert panel. Joining me now, former U.S. Army Intelligence Officer Andrew Peek, former State Department Press Officer Morgan Ortagus, and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Joel Rubin. You all have even more titles than that, that's the only thing they put on the teleprompter. So good morning to you all. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Good morning.
Andrew, so are we abdicating our leadership in the world because we pulled out of this accord?
No, that's preposterous. Hard power trumps soft power, and the world needs American hard power. You know, I think I'm reminded of when Obama invaded Libya in 2011 rather, and the Europeans were supposed to lead the effort, and they couldn't actually do it without American help. So reluctantly, they had to drag us in and drag the Obama administration into a bad war simply because they couldn't carry out their own policies. The world needs us.
Joel, you know, for the other side here, what do you make of this? Is there a way we can lead without having to be tied to this accord?
Well, if you believe that America's word matters, then this decision was devastating and very counterproductive to the American economy. The jobs, in particular, it's baffling to me. There are right now more jobs in clean energy and renewable energy than in traditional fossil fuel extraction in the United States, and the trends are only heading in that direction. I'm from Pittsburgh originally as well. And for Pittsburgh, this sounds like the president was calling for a return to the 1950s, not to 2017. But Joel, so it's very concerning.
You talk about America's word. Didn't the president run on getting us out of this accord, win the election, and then keep his word?
Well, he ran on moving the embassy to Jerusalem, and he didn't do that.
He says that's when, not if.
Well, but he still chose not to move it, and he ran on getting out of NAFTA, and he didn't do that. And he said, I'm going to renegotiate NAFTA, not necessarily get out, and that worked. And yet with the Paris deal, he said, I'm getting out, now let's renegotiate, and that's not going to work. And it's a problem for our security. It's a problem for our jobs.
Morgan, your take on this.
I think that there's a false construct that's here with the left and the right. We have people on the left saying if you believe in global warming, you have to be for this deal, and if you're against this deal, then you don't believe in global warming, and that you want the Earth to be swallowed up by the sun. I think that there's some common sense Americans in the middle saying, I want to protect the environment, I want to protect the planet that God gave us, but I am concerned that we may have had standards in this deal that aren't good for American business. Sure. And I think that's what we should be focusing on.
Good point. Well, this week the president, while everyone else is screaming Russia, 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 the president tweeted out, you know what the big story is here? It may be this is the tweet right here. He said the big story is the unmasking and surveillance of people that took place during the Obama administration. Well, Senator Lindsey Graham was on our channel yesterday and talked about this. Take a listen.
I have reason to believe that a conversation that I had was picked up with some foreign leader or some foreign person, and somebody requested that my conversation be unmasked. I've been told that by people in the intelligence community.
Andrew, is this the real big story?
Absolutely. You know, I'm a former transition official. I worked with the State Department. If I was unmasked for political reasons, I want to know about it. And I think the most intriguing detail from the House Intelligence Committee subpoenas is that they're asking for Sam Powers' involvement, the UN ambassador under Obama, which is bizarre because she's not an intelligence official. She is barely a national security official. Her job is to represent America at the UN. So why is she asking for the raw intelligence data from the CIA and their reasons for unmasking Americans?
Joel, I have a feeling you may want to utter the word Russia. Setting that aside, is this not an issue, the leaking of information for political purposes potentially?
Unmasking is a challenge that needs to be done in a way that is very much protected, and certainly the leaking for political purposes, that would be a problem. But the big question here is, why are Americans meeting with Russians who are doing illicit activity in the United States seeking to do our country harm. That's the question. The intelligence community should be surveilling the Russians. I think that's appropriate for our national security.
Well, of course. But that's not what the president's talking about. He's talking about the unmasking. Morgan, I've got to give you 10 seconds. We've got to go. Morgan, your thoughts on this?
Well, we can't do a lot in 10 seconds, but I would say that this should be fully investigated. This and the Russian investigation, they're not mutually exclusive. There's an independent counsel doing that. The Congress should look into this because it's entirely important. If these allegations have any ounce of truth, this harms the intelligence community and what people do, thousands of people do to protect our country and keep it safe.
Morgan, you took 13 seconds, but you used it well.
Close.
Thank you. Andrew, Morgan, and Joel, thank you all very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great job.